gratitude. I spent a long time counting the things I didn't have, and a long time regretting that. At the end of the day, whether or not you had any good role models, no matter your upbringing, we are all born with a moral compass. We choose to do things we know are not right based on our feelings. If we are not taught when we are young how to manage our own emotions, adulthood becomes a nightmare for us. Because the big bad world doesn't care about your feelings. And if we break our boss's favorite vase because we don't get the promotion, or we run away from situations because we don't want to face something, in the end, we will face harder lessons than the one that we were faced with. And maybe it's not fair because we were never taught. I had to learn to suppress mine or be punished. So I became an individual who would take everything out on myself. Not just because I didn't want to face consequences, but because I never wanted to turn into them. Thankfully, the day came when I understood what grace was. I mean, what it truly was. I learned that at some point, it became my responsibility not to let the same things happen over and over again. That was a hard pill to swallow. I know that way back there when I was a child, when I was younger, these things were not my faults. And what other people did to me were not my faults. But I had to look at my part in it because it kept happening, the same thing, over and over and over and over again. And I had to realize the common denominator was me. That was really hard. Because I was told my whole life everything was my fault. But I had to look at it honestly. I had to look at my part honestly. And what I realized was, my part was allowing it. My part was allowing people to do things to me, allowing people to take advantage of me, allowing them to treat me a certain type of way. That was my part. What they did was not okay. Just because I allowed it doesn't mean that they should do that, or act that way, or be unkind, or be abusive, or be toxic, or make fun of me, or you. We accept the love we think we deserve. But this is where the Father's grace comes in. Because He loves us so much. We are all sinners. We are all screw-ups. And He loves us so much that He sent His only Son to die for us. Even though we may not deserve whatever it is, we get it anyway. That's what grace is. Maybe deserve isn't the right word, but there is a difference between mercy and grace. Mercy is getting pulled over for going 100 in a 55 and not being given a ticket, not being brought to jail and having your vehicle impounded. Grace is the officer driving behind you for 100 miles to the nearest gas station and filling up your tank so that you feel safe and you don't get stranded, even though you broke the law. I fully believe in our Father's mercy and grace. I made choices that were wrong out of fear. I was given grace out of God's perfect love. I should have died. I should have been homeless. I should have gone to jail or been sold into slavery. But because my Heavenly Father loves me, He took me out of the mess I created and He brought me to safety. He filled my tank. He did it over and over and over. He saved me even when I kept going back to the same people and places and things that were killing me. Corinthians 12, 9 through 10. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you. My power is made perfect in weakness, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me for the sake of Christ. Then I am content with weakness, insults, hardships, persecutions, and calamities. For when I am weak, then I am strong.